Hi all, I am Anchita Aravind. Today I am here with a new topic, that is pharmacodynamics, and in this section I want to discuss the definition for pharmacodynamics and the action of drug and its mechanism in our body and the factors which will affect the action of the drug in our body. So shall we start the section? Pharmacodynamics, it is the study of action of drug on the body and their mechanism of action. So simply we can say that to know what the drug do and how they do it. How the drug will produce their effect. The drug produce their effect by interacting with the physiological system of the organism. By such interactions, the drug can only modify the rate of function of various systems. For example, the drug may increases or decreases the secretions, but they cannot change the basic function of any physiological system. So simply we can define the pharmacodynamics. It is used the term to know what the drug do and how they do it. So in pharmacodynamics, we have to study the action of drug, how the drug acts on our body. And the drug acts by different ways. First one is the stimulation, second depression, irritation, replacement, anti-infective or cytotoxic action, or modification of the immune status. And if we consider the stimulation, in stimulation process, the drug increases the activity of the specialized cells. For example, adrenaline stimulates the heart. And in depression, the drug decreases the activity of the specialized cells. For example, quinidine, which will depress the heart. Third method for drug action is irritation. In irritation, the drug may produces any inflammation, corrosion and necrosis of the cells. That is, the drug produces any irritation to our body. And the other method is replacement. The replacement is used when there is any deficiency of the natural substances such as hormones, metabolites or nutrients in our body. For example, insulin in diabetes, iron in anemia, vitamin C in scurvy. And other method is anti-infective and cytotoxic action. The drugs may be active specifically by destroying the effective organism. Example is penicillin, cytotoxic effect on cancer cells. And the last one is the modification of immune status, and here the drug will modify our immunity. Examples are vaccines and sera, acts by improving our immunity, while immunosuppressants are there. They act by depressing the immunity. Immunosuppressant drugs such as glucocorticoids. Most of the drugs act by one or more complex mechanism of actions, and the fundamental mechanism of drug action may be through receptors or through enzymes and pumps and through ion channels and by physical actions or chemical interactions and altering the metabolic processes. If we consider the receptor mechanism, here the drug may bind with the specific receptors in our body, and through ion channel, here the drug may interfere with the movement of ion across the specific channel. For example, the calcium channel blockers and potassium channel blockers drug. Next is the drug action through enzymes and pumps. Here the drug may act by inhibition of various enzymes present in our body, thus altering the enzyme mediated actions. For example, allopurinol, it inhibits the enzyme xanthine oxidase, and acetazolamide inhibit carbonic anhydrase. And next is the physical action. The action of the drug could result from its physical properties, that is the absorption property of activated charcoal in poisoning. And chemical interaction, the drug may act by the chemical reactions. So the drugs such as antacids, which will neutralize the gastric acids. And last one is alternating metabolic processes. In alternating metabolic processes, the drugs such as antimicrobials, which will alter the metabolic pathway in the microorganism, and it may leads to destruction of the microorganism. Example is sulfonamides. It interferes with the bacterial folic acid synthesis. We all know the basic definition for receptors. We simply say receptor is the binding site for drugs. And in this section, we will discuss what is receptor, what are the functions of receptors, and who all are bind on a receptor. So receptor is a site on the cell with which an agonist bind to bring about a change, and the receptor are proteins, and they may be present in the cytoplasm or on the nucleus also. and main functions of receptors to identify the compound, and when the compound binds to the receptor, it has to convey the message to bring about a response. So this is the main function of receptors. And now we have to discuss what is agonist, antagonist, partial agonist, etc. So agonist is a substance that bind on the receptor and produce a response, and antagonist is a substance that also bind to the receptor and prevent the action of agonist on the receptor. And partial agonist, it bind to the receptor but has low intrinsic activity, and it is produce partial responses than a agonist. Next we will discuss drug synergism and antagonism. If you think when two or more drugs are given concurrently, what is the result? It may cause the additive, synergistic and antagonistic effect. So what is additive effect? The effect of two or more drugs get added up and the total effect is equal to the sum of the individual actions. For example, ephedrine with theophylline in bronchial asthma treatment. And what is synergistic or antagonistic effect? Synergism means when we give a combination drug, that is two drugs in one tablet, and the action of one drug is enhanced or facilitated by the other drug, and it is known as the synergism. Here the total effect of the combination is greater than the sum of their independent effect, and it is often called potentiation or supraadditive effect. Example, acetylcholine and physostigmines. So next we consider what is antagonism. One drug opposing or inhibiting the action of other drug is known as antagonism. And based on the mechanism, the antagonism is classified as chemical antagonism, physiological antagonism, antagonism at the receptor level, and it may be reversible or irreversible, and non-competitive antagonism. When we consider the chemical antagonism, the two substances chemically interact and it results in the inactivation of the effect. For example, antacids like aluminum hydroxide will neutralize the gastric acid. And in physiological antagonism, the two drugs act at a different site to produce opposing effect. For example, insulin and glucagon have opposite effect on the blood sugar level. Next is the antagonism at the receptor level. Here the antagonist inhibit the binding of the agonist to the receptor. Such antagonism may be reversible or irreversible. Reversible competitive antagonism. Here the agonist and antagonist compete for the same receptor, and by increasing the concentration of the agonist, the antagonism can be overcome, and it is thus reversible antagonism. Acetylcholine and atropine compete at muscarinic receptors, and the antagonism can be overcome by increasing the concentration of acetylcholine at the receptor. And irreversible antagonism. The antagonist binds so firmly by the covalent bond to the receptors that it dissociates slowly, not at all. It blocks the agonist. The blockage cannot be overcome by increasing the dose of the agonist, hence it is irreversible antagonism. Example is adrenaline and phenoxybenzamine at alpha adrenergic receptors. So this is the antagonism at the receptor level. Both the agonist and antagonist will compete for the same receptors, and it may produce a reversible or irreversible antagonism. Next we discuss the factors which will modify the drug actions. There is various factors which will modify the action of drugs. For example, first one is body weight. For all drugs, the recommended dose is calculated for medium and built persons. For the obese and underweight persons, the dose has to be calculated separately or individually. So, the dose equal to body weight in kilogram divided by 70 into average adult dose. And the second factor is age. In the newborn babies, the liver and kidneys are not fully matured to handle the drugs. So, barbiturate, which produce sedation in adults, may produce excitation in children. So, to calculate the child dose, we will use the Young's formula. For child dose, it is equal to age in years divided by age plus 12 into adult dose. The third factor, sex. In women, the hormonal effects and smaller body size may influence the drug responses, and the special care is necessary for prescribing for pregnant and lactating women during menstruation. And fourth factor, species and race. Response to drug may vary with species and race. Example, rabbits are resistant to atropine drug and need more dose to produce mydriasis. And fifth factor, diet and environment. Food interfere with the absorption of drugs. Example, tetracycline, which will form complex with the calcium present in the food and are poorly absorbed. And the sixth factor is route of administration. Route of administration may modify the drug action. For example, magnesium sulfate, which given orally it is a purgative, and in IV route it causes CNS depression and has anticonvulsant effect also, and it's applied topically it reduces local edema. And seventh factor, dose. It is interesting to know the response of a drug. If the dose is increased, its response also increased till a maximum is reached. In case some drugs further increased, the drug response is lowered. For example, myasthenia gravis, neostigmine enhance the muscle power in therapeutic doses. In higher the dose it produces muscle paralysis. And the eighth factor is disease. The presence of certain disease can influence the drug action. For example, malabsorption may lead to poor absorption of the drugs, and liver diseases, the rate of metabolism is reduced. The 10th factor is repeated dosing. The repeated administration of a drug can result in cumulation, tolerance, and tachyphylaxis. Cumulation means the drug like digoxin, which are slowly eliminated, may accumulate and resulting in toxicity. And tolerance. Tolerance is defined as the capacity of the body to become less responsive to other drugs or substances. And next, tachyphylaxis. It is a rapid development of tolerance, and when some drugs are administered repeatedly at short interval, the tolerance develops rapidly and it is known as tachyphylaxis or acute tolerance. And the 11th factor is the psychological factor. That is the doctor-patient relationship and also the nursing care, which will influence the response to a larger extent by acting on the patient's psychology. And the 12th factor, presence of other drugs. The concurrent use of two or more drugs can influence the response of each other. So these are the main factors which will affect the action of drugs. Thank you all for listening me.